Okay, Moonee Valley Quaddie Legs Cox Plate Day. We've already previewed the races 1 to 6 for subscribers, which offers a bit of a dog's breakfast as far as form and prognostications. But we're still yet to know, and we won't know, I guess, until Saturday morning where the rail will be for Cox Plate Day, because it's a decision they like to wait on after the Friday night meeting. But Roy's suggesting a run on track for Cox Plate Day, which I tend to agree with. And Kev's saying fair. So let's have a look at this first Quaddie leg, which is the mile race of the Waterford Crystal. So it's called Linter Energy I've got here, the mile race. And $4.20 Rise at Dawn, $4.20 O2 Good. Rise at Dawn, of course, engaged at Randwick as well. $4.80 Golden Path. Now, speed in this race is solid. O2 Good holds her position from 1. Rise at Dawn would like to lead. Golden Path is back in distance, but has raced with success on the speed. Desert Lightning is looking for a spot, and I would think that El Rocco probably make a play for the lead. He's in career best form, and he may as well take it up at his first, I guess. This is the set weights and penalties, which you love so much, Kev. But firstly, Roy, what are you thinking about the tempo here and the map?
Yeah, it looks pretty sedate, doesn't it? I guess. I mean, O2 Good, Rise at Dawn, they're probably the two that press forward. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, maybe El Rocco will press on. I guess
he's wearing the disruptor
yeah,
robes here.
He's in that wide draw. He's got a little bit of a question there.
All right, so how do you line them up?
Well, look, I mean, this particular race, there's a couple of horses here that have got form in, superior races to what they're meeting here. And I'll speak of Desert Lightning and Golden Path. I mean, Desert Lightning was just given no hope at all last time in that Toorak. It's 3 wide on a burning speed and was really put to the sword. Comes back to the Valley where it won this time in, and geez, you go back and have a look at some of the names, in its form. I mean,
yep, and it's obviously
War Machine, Transatlantic, Private Eye, Sir Delius 2 back, although it was a bit flat that day. It just comes back to the Moonee Valley, comes back to the mile, and just, yeah, it's perfectly placed here just to tag the leaders, or maybe one out, one back or something. And there's a few question marks here about Rise at Dawn and O2 Good. O2 Good, you're trusting it can repeat it.
Gee, everything went so super for it last start.
Yeah,
it was one of those.
Yeah,
like every single planet was in alignment.
Yeah, I mean, Moonlight Circus only a length and a half behind it. And Rise of Dawn, I mean, can we make an excuse for that Rose Hill run? Did it not travel up or something?
Well,
Terrible
it
fucking
paraded sensationally. It dropped the ball and then tried to pick it up again late. It was a weird run, but anyway,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it didn't travel up or something. It was okay at Flemington before that, but again, the class runners, Desert Lightning and Golden Path. I don't know what happened at Flemington, but I mean, the run before, like, what are we talking about? Group 1, Sir Delius, half a length. If it produces that, there's only Desert Lightning.
Which is why it's very prominent in the betting. It was on a 7-day backup at that. It squeezed the lemon, was in red hot nick for that run, I would suggest.
Yeah, I just kept coming back to the form around those two horses, and certainly, the value Desert Lightning.
All right, Kev, the set weights and penalties, that immediately sparks your interest.
Yep. So Golden Path becomes on top, based off that theory, but also just the fact that it's had those 2,000-metre runs, which means it's going to be nice and tough. It's drawn beautifully in barrier 4. It's got Blake Shin on it. I quite like it. He's such a good trainer, Mick Price. Rise at Dawn that day in Sydney, that was a fucking atrocious ride. Like
What, went too slowly?
he needed to go and run and get him and get the other things off the bit. He just rode it too pretty. Basically rode it like it was in a 1200 metre race.
Hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how poor the ride was. And I am speaking through my kick, but I have followed that horse pretty well. I reckon I've got a good handle on when that horse produces and the way you need to ride it.
Yeah,
Third up last preparation ran fourth in the Doncaster,
yeah.
probably its highest rating race ever. So, from barrier two, it's probably going to get a really nice spot. O2 Good's up in class, but it's got a good barrier. Pinstripe was a nice trial the other day. It was in a race, but it had a nice trial.
Yeah,
Likes
it
the
was in the
track.
same race as Desert Lightning. Roy was describing the Desert Lightning was put to the sword. So how do you line those two up from that race?
Look, it was more that Pinstripe just so badly, in the conditions of the race, like
Yeah,
for how long it is since it's won. Likes the track. That's about what it's got going for it, and that's about it. Von Hawk races like a 1600 metre horse, but he's got no 1600 metre form. So
yeah, he's poorly
um,
placed. But Roy, we made mention of Von Hawk out of that Media World race at Flemington. It was, he is tracking well. Is he biting off too much here?
Yeah, I think he's just chosen the wrong race. I mean, it's a great run. It's against a slow pace. Yeah, fantastic effort. And it ran a good race this time last year at Moonee Valley. But yeah, like under the
A bit of a
conditions.
strange horse because he's still very lightly raced for a 6-year-old. But his wins
I mean,
seem
yeah,
a long time
under the
ago.
conditions, it's just
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, do you want to back Golden Path a half length to Sir Delius, or do you want to back Von Hawk a half length to Media World?
I know it's weird, isn't it? It is
five
weird.
starts over the distance for one placing. But he races when you watch him run in a 1400 metre race. You think, "I'll wait till this thing gets to a mile,"
Yeah, horse is
but
flying.
not yet. El Rocco's going well and races on the pace with Rise at Dawn. So I'm interested to see whether it leads. I'm guessing it'll lead. A Rise at Dawn will just camp on it. And Golden Path and O2 Good probably just camp behind them. So I'm Golden Path on top from Rise at Dawn, and I'm happy to just have a two-bet strategy. I've got I think I'll get the winner out of those two.
All right,
I wasn't bagging Desert Lightning.
yeah, it's
Um,
an interesting contrast,
yeah,
isn't it? I mean, yeah, obviously it fits in there, and Roy's got a
yep,
little bit of
yep.
excitement in his tone. The McEwen is an interesting race because you don't typically see horses come back off the Group One course and distance to run in a $300,000 whatever it is under the same weight conditions. Obviously, Charmstone is $2.30. Tropicus up to 1200 for the first time. This prep is $4.50, and Neonce out of that same Giga Kick race is $6. Here, Charmstone had a charmed run in the Manikato. It'll be interesting to see where she gets to here. Jigsaw, it's a Jigsaw in 3. We've got Bridal Waltz in 5. Tropicus may actually try and cross them because he's been showing great speed this preparation. Tiger Shark has the speed to hold sort of gate 2. What are you thinking, Roy, in terms of
Sorry, just want to add in there too. Regal Zeus led first up last time.
I know, and the map that's in front of me has Regal Zeus in the green, as in the leader. But
Yeah,
it's a miler, and I certainly see Tropicus as being a lot faster than Regal Zeus. Well,
yeah.
that's my I guess that is my take on it. Roy. What are you suggesting?
Oh yeah, look, probably for me, Jigsaw and Tropicus will probably take it up. Bridal Waltz will be sort of poking up in between them, but may not be quite as fast as them. And I think it's worth noting that, of the last 5 races on the card, or the last 6 races on the card there on Saturday, they're all 1600 or 2000 meters except for this one.
Hmm.
So now that we've had the meeting on the Friday night, now that we've had all these races, this is race 8 on the Saturday. Be very pattern aware for this race. This could be curtains for leaders at this stage of the day. It's the third last race on the day. There's been plenty of traffic. There's speed here too. Like they're pretty quick, Jigsaw and Tropicus. They're going to fight a bit here, I reckon, and Bridal Waltz won't be far away. So this could turn into a bit of a messy race. And Barrier 9 for Charmstone, although it's coming off a PR the other day, it may actually be okay.
All right, so you've got the right rider to work it out. He's just got to play the right moves early.
I'm not really, excited about the race much here. As I mentioned, I think it's a race where you need to sort of see what the track's doing.
But
Obviously,
you could
Charmstone,
put the second pick out of play, is what you're suggesting,
it
based
could
on the.
it could find it hard, Tropicus. At this at this point of the day. Um, I mean, I think you're back to Charmstone. I understand that it's coming off a win at huge odds and stuff, but I feel like you're back to it. But yeah, I mean, 220 doesn't interest me.
Yeah, we'll
There's
wait.
obviously a case to say that Tropicus is going to be thereabouts. Neons. Vestas is an interesting runner. Like, I mean, it's rocketed home the other day. I think it's worth keeping an eye on.
She's a
Um,
sniper, isn't she?
yeah, it's way up in grade here, but like that was such a good run first up. There's something there with that horse. It's going to win a good race this time in. But yeah, tricky race this for me. I'd be very you're just holding fire here.
All right, Kev, have you got a view on Charmstone and where she gets to and what to do in
Yeah,
this
well,
race?
Charmstone's probably one of the best weighted horses of the day. As a Group One winner, that's level weights of all these other mares. So you look at a horse like Vestas, who's level weights with it. If it was a handicap, Charmstone would probably have 60, and Vestas would probably have 53 or something. So from a
Or
weighting,
well, actually, there is in fact 33 points or 16 and a half kilos between them on the ratings.
so Charmstone just on the handicapping of the set weights race. If it repeats its last run, it should be winning. I had Neons in for second, thinking it'd be fitter now. Could possibly get the best run in the race from the barrier 7. Might probably sit maybe just behind the couple of leaders. And Bridal Waltz just been going so well, And again, I don't know whether she knows. So the only thing that worries me a little bit with Bridal Waltz, I'm just not sure if she's a Flemington horse now, whether that seems to be where she runs the best races.
Mm.
But I think those three, Charmstone, Neons, and Bridal Waltz, I think one of them will win. I'm just going to stake the three of them and expect to be collecting.
All right, so you're betting around Tropicus as well. Well, I'm not suggesting that Roy is, but he's mindful of the fact that Tropicus may be put out of play by the circumstances. If you want to know whether that is the case, then you'll need to be in Roy's channel for an update. Obviously, he'll be putting out his thoughts on Saturday morning, but updated through the day based on what he's seeing. So you need to be in that channel. You get the first 2 weeks free if you haven't seen it. It's a big 2 weeks to take. It's Cox Plate into Derby Day, into Stakes Day. All right, the penultimate has seen 5 runners go to Geelong today, so that gets us down to a field of 9. And Observer is currently $2 in that market, so more like $1.80 once we remove the Geelong horses. And options is $5.50. And Observer looks to take it up. It's the horse that was leading over shorter courses in its first preparation when it was trained by Cummings, and obviously posied up in the Caulfield Guineas. And the others are all very, very slow. They've got no speed profile. So not only does it come out of the Caulfield Guineas, but it looks to try and make all. So Roy, is that the case? Can we find something against it? What's the story?
Yeah, look, it does look like it'll probably end up either at the very worst being outside lead or lead. Maybe Crown of Russia might kick up a little. Williams, Blinker's first time, did lead last time, but I couldn't be convinced that would happen. And
Right.
yeah,
It
then
looks a very, very thin race.
yeah,
Well, as evidenced by the betting as well. This horse is out to the 2000 for the first time. It's Its mother was a half to Piero, and what else did I note about this horse? Well, I guess they were talking about Cox Plates for this horse anyway. So Sandpaper. It's a half to Sandpaper Observer. Anyway, go on, Roy.
Oh, look, it's a pretty thin race. I really think you're just back to observer and options. I understand there's a whole bunch of horses going around at Geelong in about 2 hours that are in this race as well, but they haven't done enough.
And they won't back up. It's 2 day back up in they'll be they're looking for the Derby in 9 days from today.
Yeah, so look, at the price, I probably wouldn't be interested in Observer. I mean, they're assuming a lot that it's going to run the 2000 out strongly, which it's another question mark. I never really thought it was a 1600-meter horse, but I obviously have watched the Caulfield Guineas like everyone else and said, well, yeah, okay, you should have finished closer and you were hitting the line late. But it's still a bit of another sort of question mark.
Well, especially as the last time we saw it lead, it just
Yeah,
fell over.
yeah, that's true. Different horse this time in, but yeah, it's certainly another question mark. And there's nothing wrong with options at the 2000, is there? I mean, he's going to run it out strongly. He's won off a slow pace there at Flemington the other day. Now, is he a Moonee Valley horse? I don't know. I mean, I'd be a little bit concerned. It gets so far back, and he's got a wide jaw. But then again, we have sort of mentioned, just previously that the pattern of the day may play into its hands. Sort of, coming into the second day of the Moonee Valley
Carnival. That's what it is.
Yeah. So they're the two that you can really only land on. I couldn't find a roughie. I tried to, but I couldn't get
They
excited.
are steady types. Kev, have you got
Very steady.
have you got some insight into this?
I just couldn't believe the difference in price between Observer and options. Like when I looked yesterday, and it was like $1.80 and $7. I just went, "What the hell? Or what's wrong with these blokes?" Like you've got one that's proven over distance and one that isn't. You've got a horse that, like options, that won off a slow pace, like it was off a pace where it probably shouldn't have been able to do what it did. And we're thinking there might be looping in the last couple of races. Well, it's drawn 12 and going to get back. It's going to be looping. Yeah, I'm just shocked at I'm still shocked that it's $2 and $6. I know with the scratchings and the deductions that's going to change, but at the moment that's the disparity between the two horses. I mean, you can get $2 to place options. It's better than $2 to win Observer, surely. I know I've been trailing options all the way through it in Autumn Mystery, but I do still think this is a Derby horse. I thought the only horse outside the two favourites that I could find at all was Matsuda. Was just really, really impressive.
Well, it's
the
in
other
at
day.
Geelong, so I'd be surprised if it backed
Oh,
up.
it's running today, is it?
Yep.
Okay, it would have been the other one that I've had. No, I'm just all over options. Both Roy and I said Observer was a good roughie in the Guineas, so we obviously both saw something there.
Yep.
But I just can't believe the difference in price between the two. So I'm all over options.
Okay, well, they'll all be trying to loop in the last, which is the feature, the Cox Plate. We've lost the leader, Globe.
Race 20.
Yeah, and does Light Infantryman take it up, or does Treasure the Moment just amble out of the stalls and go, okay, well, there's nothing doing here. Attrition's only drawn 2. It's not like he has to work forward. Roy, have you got a theory about the shape of this race?
Probably Treasure the Moment would take it up, but yeah, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? And there's obviously no real pace in the race, but we know, we've been here before. We know what Cox Plates are like. They get going at the 1,000, so
yeah, but they'll all be getting going at the 1,000.
Yeah, that's right. So, and with the small field, then perhaps they'll all be sort of packed together, and there'll be nothing sort of out the back. They'll all have every chance, I'd imagine myself.
Okay, and we've seen a market for this race through this week has sort of been 5 to 4 via Sistina, 7 to 2 Antino. What do you make of that?
Well, look, I'm happy to be corrected, but I feel like the market has disrespected Aliana a bit. I mean, going off the Turnbull, it was a slowly run race, and Antino made a run early. That was probably suitable on that day, and in that race. So I feel like, we probably saw the best of Antino that day. I understand that, he's probably been set for the race, but getting going 3 wide in that race was a good thing because they came home in 33.8. So I feel like, for him to only just beat Via Sistina and Aliana that day, that was probably his, that was probably as good as he can go. So I'd have to be a little bit away from Antino. I understand that, it's probably been set for the race, but for me,
Well,
Via
they all
Sistina,
have been.
yeah. Well, Via Sistina and Aliana, I mean, it's hard to make a case. There's a lot between them, particularly off the last run,
Well,
particularly
and
off the World
I
Cup
keep
run.
thinking about what Chris was saying about resuming on that track at Randwick back on the 23rd of August. Oh, I didn't want to have to do this, like,
Yeah,
oh, why
isn't
couldn't
it?
they wait? I wonder if that took more out of the older mare than we realise.
We'll see. I mean, at the $7, Aliana, I think that's pretty generous. You're assuming that Via Sistina is going to go to these one or two peak performances that she's got, and if you want to take 220 to find out, good luck to you. But at the
Yeah, the
moment,
evidence is a little bit thin this preparation, isn't it?
$7 seems attractive about Aliana when, she was a little bit held up in that Turnbull, caught on the inside. The other two were out and clear running. It was a sprint home, and she's just finished on their heels. It seems attractive that the price to me, and the rest I wasn't interested in. Treasure of the Moment seems to be on a downward spiral.
Yeah,
Uh,
so Kev, how are you playing this Cox Plate?
Well, I took $9.50 Aliana because I agree with Roy. I couldn't believe the difference in price between it and Versestina. Like $9.50 I got yesterday was just fat.
Yeah,
I know I've
it's
got a
funny because
deduction of
she's
4 cents
been,
for Globe, but I'm happy to be on at $9. Um, I think that one of the Waller horses will win, either Versestina or Aliana. I like the fact that he took off and went wide on Versestina the other day. I
okay,
thought it
so that
meant that
was,
it couldn't win that race, but I thought it needed that hard hit out.
yep, okay.
So,
Well, you talked about the fact that she'd barrier trialled the start before and how that was against her in the Turnbull. So,
yeah,
yeah, it sounds like J-Mac was mindful of that as well and said, and then with this race in view, was trying to give her a bit more of a hit out.
yeah, I thought that, and I agree with Roy. There's not much between Aliana and Versestina. I can't imagine what other grand final Aliana's got this preparation. I mean, I know they've got the 2,000 metre race on Stakes Day.
Yeah,
But that's it. Like that's the end of the section. You go back to the paddock. So
yeah.
both Thea and Aliana, they've got one of them's going to win this race. I think.
Uh,
Antino, I've got a really good record with Antino. I've never backed it in my life. So it's one of few races that owes me nothing. I owe it nothing. If it wins, it wins. I just don't care. It hasn't sucked me in once. I think Treasure the Moment. I think her run the other day behind a first up Pride of Jenny was probably better than it looks because we know that Jenny can do that first up. She can run a race like that, and if she's been chasing the lure a little bit, trying to catch up to her fitness with the since the colic attack. If you go back to her first up run and then go back to all her form and think she's drawn barrier one, that she's not over the odds or so $6 is a good price for her. So I could be enticed to maybe square the race up on Treasure of the Moment as a small stake. But I've got Aliana and Versestina equal, which is why I had to take the $9.50 and I've
Right,
got
so
Treasure of the Moment
there's
third.
some good love from the panel for Aliana. I must say that $6 seems the end of the world for me on Aliana as well. So that is a wrap on Cox Plate Day preview. The Quaddie League certainly in this segment. So thanks again, Roy and Kev.
yeah, thanks for that.
As I mentioned earlier, we've got a lot of serious Melbourne racing ahead of us. So if you've not tried Roy's service, time to do it. Click on the eye in the top right-hand corner. Good luck, gentlemen, on the weekend. And Roy, Kev, obviously, we'll see you tomorrow for a
Yep.
Spring Champion Stakes Day preview at Randwick. So
Look forward
catch
to
you
it.
then. See you guys.
See
Cheers,
ya.
Mark.